Hey guys, Will or Lolio here, and today's big news is that Rob Pardo is leaving Blizzard Entertainment. So for those of you who don't know, Rob is currently, or was currently, the Chief Creative Officer, and he's worked at Blizzard for 17 years. He used to be the Executive Vice President of Game Design, and before that, he served as lead designer of World of Warcraft. He worked a lot on Vanilla and the Burning Crusade, and he was good friends with Jeffrey Kaplan, another designer who a lot of people will be familiar with as working on WoW during Vanilla and BC, before being moved to Titan during Wrath of the Lich King. And they both ran the EverQuest guild called Legacy of Steel, which was one of the best guilds in that game, and they got a ton of world firsts, and they were very well known, and that was a big part of why they were hired by Blizzard as designers in the first place. And I think that their influence is partially why the Burning Crusade and Vanilla were a lot more hardcore than today's WoW. Although it was a lot more casual than EverQuest, a lot of people wonder why there was this big shift during Wrath of the Lich King. The reason for that, I think, is partially due to Rob Pardo, Jeff Kaplan, and Alex Fraziabi, who were all in EverQuest guilds and were pretty hardcore players at the time. They all moved off of WoW and onto Project Titan around that time, and I think that their influence definitely shaped WoW into being more hardcore during Vanilla and BC, and when they left, that kind of shifted to a more casual sort of design. Rob was featured in the WoW South Park episode, and in 2006 he was named by Time magazine as one of the 100 most influential people in the world. That was back when WoW was like this media phenomenon. As for why he's leaving, he put in a post on the forums to pursue the next chapter in his life and career. He doesn't say if he's going to another company, which is understandable. When Ghostcrawler left, it took him about a month to say he was going to Riot. I actually wonder if that's where Rob is going too. In addition to Ghostcrawler, the main designer behind the Warlock changes in Pandaria, Zelnath, he went to Riot as well. So it seems like they're picking up a lot of Blizzard's people. I kind of wonder if Rob is going to end up there in some capacity. So obviously, it's somewhat sad to see another high-profile departure from Blizzard. But as far as we know, Rob hasn't really been hands-on with WoW for a long time anyway. The last time he was a designer was Burning Crusade. I believe he worked somewhat on Wrath, and I believe he was a producer later on. I know he worked as a producer on Diablo, and I think he had some involvement in Hearthstone as well, but he hasn't really been hands-on as a designer for quite a few years now. And lately, a lot of people have been suggesting that what Blizzard needs is a reshuffling in their upper management, which Rob Pardo is certainly part of. It often seems like the guys in those positions, they've been there for a long time, and maybe they've become a little bit too comfortable in those positions. Like, it just seems they're not performing as well as they should be, maybe? I mean, obviously, I'm a complete outsider, and the people that I've heard this from are outsiders, but if you read what they've been saying on Twitter in the past, I don't know, year or so, you see a lot of weird comments. It seems like Blizzard is having some internal issues. They seem to lash out at players a little bit more than they used to. Like, they tell players their feedback is wrong, or they're just not seeming to listen to large-scale feedback, because it kind of feels like a lot of the designers feel like they think they're always right and they know what's best, and usually they do. Usually Blizzard designers are right, but it feels like lately they've been making decisions that don't really make a lot of sense, and you have things like Azeroth Choppers, which it really seems like Samwise and Chris Metzen deciding that they're having a midlife crisis and just kind of turning that into content for the fans, supposedly. And then you have the whole recent Karabor and Bladespire controversy, which has been handled very unprofessionally by a lot of people at Blizzard, especially Bashiok. Admittedly, as I said, we don't really know what's going on, but it does seem like Warlords of Draenor especially is having a lot of trouble development. You know, it's been very delayed, and there's a lot of things that are being seemingly cut or rushed. I think the expansion's going to be awesome, but there's a lot of things that have been changed recently that makes me think that there have been some problems in development. Now, when you combine that with a couple of big names like Ghostcrawler and Rob Pardo leaving in the past several months, it does raise some concerns. Overall, I'm confident that Draenor will still be a great expansion regardless of whatever's going on internally. I mean, these guys who work there, they do have a lot of talent, and many of them have worked on WoW for a very long time, so I think they know what they're doing. But part of me wants to see some more upper management guys go, just because I think Blizzard needs some new blood, some fresh guys. But really, what we all want is for these guys to just get their groove back, so to speak, right? We want to see them come back and really start making the game that we know they can. I mean, it just seems like there's been a lot of things that haven't lived up to expectations in the past year, maybe 2 years. And I think Pandaria was a great expansion, but it seems like there's been a lot of problems. Like, they release patches very quickly, and then we have this huge route of content that is unprecedented, and they say, well, you know, It's to be expected. Like, they don't seem to be putting any effort into even explaining what's going on. So from an outside viewpoint, it definitely seems like things are going wrong internally, but we don't really know what the issues are. Anyway, that's all from me for now. If you enjoyed the video or found it informative, please leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.